Hello, everyone. It's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to discuss the series that we have going on. It's time to forgive God. Are you ready to forgive God? Can you forgive God? But we're going to stick with that first part. It's time to forgive God. And this is my story. So it was on February 14th of this year. We had went to church as normal, and they were preaching. And my daughter had a NIV Bible. It's for teen girls, written by Zonda Van. So it have different excerpts from different, well-known preachers, and they would like maybe pick a verse and then they'll, expound on that verse and bring it into, you know, our time. So where these young girls can understand better what is being said. So my daughter had handed this to me, this exact same excerpt as we see up here. And then I went to read it. I said, oh, this looks interesting. Let me read it. So it says, can you forgive God? Read Isaiah 53:5. For many of my childhood years, I had been wounded by abuse. All that pain had me seal away a part of my heart and soul in what I thought was a safe, protected place. I desperately craved close relationships, but feared them too, because I never wanted to be hurt again. I had become trapped. You may feel trapped too. An overbearing coach crushes your spirit. An unfaithful boyfriend or girlfriend betrays your trust. Cruel friends trample your heart with spiteful words. Insensitive parents strip your confidence. Unthinking teachers call you stupid and tell you that you will never amount to anything, squashing your self-worth. Bullies stomp all over you. Abusers try to take your soul. Whatever the source of the attack on your body, soul, and spirit, the hurt stings and the damage goes deep. That hurt was true for me. Though I was no longer in bondage to my abusers as I had been as a child, I had shuttered my heart. I didn't trust anyone, not even God. I kept him at a distance by giving him my time, but not all of myself. Worse, I realized that I hadn't forgiven God. Where was he, after all, when I was a helpless child? Although I was shocked by this revelation, God was not. Since he knows everything, he knew that if I were to be truly free, I needed to deal with this wound. He was able to heal me, but I had to choose that healing. If I were to be made whole, first I had to admit that I wasn't. I had to accept that I needed help. I needed to reach up to God and out to others as part of the healing exercise of a whole heart. So after I finished reading this while I was sitting in church, my daughter proceeds, and I believe that was God using her at the time to bring it home, to make it. So he wanted to get my attention to let me know that you need to deal with this. You really need to deal with this. And she was like, "Mommy, can you forgive God?" And I just broke down crying because it was the truth, and I could not deny it. When you're confronted with, well, some people can deny it, but there's a truth you cannot deny. You know that, yes, this is the truth. I did harbor unforgiveness towards God because of the different things that happened in my life, different promises that I thought would have been come to fruition in my life already. And I was like, yeah, I all those things built it up to the fact that I had unforgiveness towards God, and I really didn't trust him because of the stuff that has happened. And I was like, oh my goodness. And of course I went to speak to with my sister. This sister, she's not blood related, but we are spirit. This is somebody that I met in the church, and I spoke to her. But then years prior, she did mention that to me. When I had opened up to her about different things that had happened to me, and then she did mention. She's like, "You don't think you have unforgiveness towards God? Or you are mad at God?" And I was like, "I don't think so, because I love God. Of course, I love God." I know he listened to me when I pray. I may not get everything that I want, but I know when I pray, God listens to me. God answers my prayer. Even if he doesn't give it to me, he shows me that he heard me. So I don't think so. And fast forward this year, yes, I did have unforgiveness towards God. And I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And I asked her, what do I need to do? And she's like, at least you know, you know. Now you know. So now you need to go to the roots. Because whatever we have in our life, whatever we may be going through in our lives, stuff that's happened in our lives, different problems, to find the solution, we have to go to the root of it. Where did it all start? Where did I started having this, this non-trust? So I had to go deep into prayer, deep into, and this is the only time I would recommend meditation, sitting down and actually talking to God, sitting down, talking to God, and then sitting in quiet and waiting for his answer. Meditating while talking to God. Not no meditate, and some of these stuff that people be doing in meditation, I don't know about that. But sometimes, you're talking to God and then you sitting in that quiet time and then wait for the God to speak to you. And that's what you say. That's what you're gonna have to do. That's what you're gonna have to do. But at least you're halfway there, because you know that you did have this with God. And then sometimes we may think that, yes, doesn't mean that you don't love God, doesn't mean that you're not a Christian. But sometimes we have these unforgiveness, and then we adopt like a religious spirit. But we're not really dealing with the root cause of certain things in our lives. And I was like, yeah, I really need to I need to deal with this, because everything that was said in this excerpt, I could, not everything, but a lot of things I could relate. It's relatable, because no matter how it happened, however the hurt or the abuse or whatever, however it came about in your life, it does sting, and the hurt goes deep. The hurt goes deep. And especially if these people were authority figures, religious authority figures, Christian authority figures, we tend to associate these people with God. When they hurt us and do different things, then we tend to distance ourselves from God. We tend to let go of God, because we're like, oh, if this person knew God and this is what they did, then we may not even say that. But our actions, our thoughts, what our inner thoughts, that's what we think. We associate God with these type of people. And they was supposed to represent God, but they are not God. That's what we need. And that's what I had to realize. A lot of these things, that was not God. That was that person. That was that individual. That was that sister. That was that brother. That was that parent. That was that pastor. That was that deacon. That was not God. That was not God. And some things you have to, when in sitting in quiet times, you pray to God, you be honest, you be forthcoming with your feelings. Lord, this is what happened, this is how I felt, this is what I didn't understand. Be forthcoming. Because you can't lie to God, because God knows. You could lie to yourself, but you ain't lying to God. And then you wait. You pray. With my sister always says, pray with faith and wait. You pray with faith that that God is hearing you. He's listening to you. Talk about all the hurt and all the pain that you have suffered from loved ones, from people in the church. Know that he's hearing you. And then you wait. And how do you have to have quiet moments. You have to have quiet moments so that he can reveal, because something is God revealed to me. It was that I thought, not certain abuse, but certain stuff that, certain promises that God had promised me. It was certain stuff that I was supposed to do that I didn't do. It was certain stuff I was supposed to cut off, I didn't cut off. But all these stuff was revealed to me in praying and seeking God, and then waiting for an answer, having quiet moments. You pray. It's because you're having a conversation. If you just talking, that's not a conversation. You're not having a conversation. You just talking. But when you have a conversation, you talk everything you need to talk. And you don't have to do it in one day. It can take you several days, several times, and you talk. But then in your talking, take moments of quiet, of silence, so you can hear God. And he may not talk to you like that, but it may be somewhere along, because God have different ways, millions and billions of ways where he can talk to you. Because you may be in quiet time and then you don't hear nothing. You probably don't think that God didn't hear you, because if you keep on talking, he'll eventually show up. Sometimes he shows up right away. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time, because you really have to because God may want you to get everything out. It may be that you haven't really got everything that you need to get out yet, and he's giving you more time. It may be different reasons, but don't give up just because you may have prayed and then you don't hear anything. Oh, I prayed this day, I prayed second day, third, I don't have nothing, and you give up. No, you have to keep going, because you have to keep going. Because if you're gonna need that healing. You're gonna need that healing, because whatever words, abuse that you may have suffered, you never got healing from that, it's going to trickle into other relationships. It's going to trickle into, and then you can say, oh, I don't have the other relationship, I'm by myself. That's why you by yourself, because you cannot have new relationships, because all that hurt and pain that you never dealt with, it always destroys the new relationships. And then even if you do have a relationship, you're not a whole person. You're not a whole person. You're half of a person. You're always holding back. You never let everybody see who you truly are, because you are not healed. And the only person that can heal you is God. But we have to be forthcoming. We have to be truthful with ourselves. We have to be truthful with ourselves. You do have unforgiveness. You do have unforgiveness towards God. You don't trust God. You are mad at God. That you have to confront that truth. But when you stay in religion and say, no, I'm not, because I go to church every day, I pray, God talks to me, God answers my prayer. How am I mad with God? I'm not mad with God. Okay, then. But you still have wounds that you haven't dealt with. You still destroy new relationships. So that was my story. I'm still in it. Still discovering some stuff. Still digging up some stuff. Because you have to get to the root. If you don't get to the root, you ain't doing nothing, because it'll spring back up again. When you get to the root, then you will take care of that, whatever that issue, problem is, or hindrance is. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video, and we are going to continue the series. Not sure how long the series is going to be, but we're going to continue. Thank you. Bye.